Next, yes, so, The Real Amy Walker. I thought I would share some pieces of how I develop character, how I get into character. And one of my ways in is often through writing in the voice of the character. And how I find that, I'll find the character's handwriting and what kind of pen do they use and what kind of paper would they write on. And it's all part of, you know, I could say, I used to try and go about it cerebrally, like, this person is 12 years and 3 months and she is a Capricorn, and so that means that, I mean, maybe I didn't go into Capricorn, but, you know, this is her relationship to this and to that. But I like to now find my way in, kind of feel my way in organically, and that's all part of it for me, part of filling in those parts that aren't in the script, that mean a lot to the character, but that maybe don't mean that to me, and so I need to figure out why it means what it means to them. And so this is the journal that I made for the character that I spent the longest, I spent 2.5 years developing this character that I never played. Ruth Connors and the Lovely Bones, which is this beautiful book by Alice Sebold, and now a film, wonderful film, which I haven't seen yet, but I will. And I made this in New Zealand, out of an old purse, because it seemed very the character to me. And I'll just show you a little glimpse. I'm not going to read from this one today, because I did on my first one-woman show. This is my 4th new one. So this is a bit of Ruth's strange handwriting. It's kind of, can you see, kind of chicken scratchy, kind of scrawly. And I thought that she is the kind who would write, who would just use like a plain old Bic pen, because that wouldn't matter to her, the pen. It's all about the words. She's a writer. And this is a piece of a tree in New Zealand, but I pretended, I use whatever I have, but then feel it as the character, and that helps me get in. And I am going to share a piece from when I played Jo March in Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. And that's a story, if you don't know, it's a classic American novel about these 4 sisters, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. So when I refer to Amy, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about her sister, because I played Jo, the tomboy writer, passionate. And I did relate to her as a writer and as a passionate person. I'm kind of passionate, in case you didn't know. But Jo was a total tomboy, and she did not want to grow up, and I did when I was young. So there were things, and particularly there was this one event that happens in the book and in the play that I knew it meant a lot to Jo, but I needed to know why and how, and so I like to just start writing and just write freely and see how that helps me to know, to ground in that moment. So then I have it for the play, or the film, or whatever. So this is some of Jo's handwriting. It starts out, she had this fabulous fountain pens and dip ink, because this was during Civil War era. And their father, at the start of this, is away as a chaplain, I believe, fighting in the Civil War. So she starts off with this wild handwriting, and then it gets into more, she's always trying to be good, and trying to, well, part of her tries to be good, and part of her rebels against having to be good. But this is more the handwriting that I patterned later on after her father's, in my mind, which is, I got from Writing of the Times. So I'll share a piece at the start of this journal, which I imagined her father gave to her before he left. And then I'll just jump to another scene. Jo March. Hello, my dearie little book. What shall I call you? Henry? Nay, Harold. Of course it is Harold, for you shall be the herald of my soul. My thoughts and all my heart shall trumpet from my pen, and your delicate blue lines shall catch hold of them ere they fall. So, dear Harold, what shall we weave amidst our dainty blues tonight? Then I'll skip to this. Well, Harold, it's taken me all month, but I finally copied all my stories into the book for Father. I'm binding it with ribbon, like a real published work. I feel that when it is completed, I've only about 2 or 3 more to write for the proper full-length size. When it is truly good and finished, he'll be on the next train. And nothing can happen to him while I work on it daily for him. It's like a prayer. It's my way of praying for his safe and swift return. Bethy has her little ways. She always prepares a place for him at tea and brings fresh flowers to her special little spot for him in the garden, although she thinks I don't see. And every time Amy catches herself from saying something vain, she keeps it as a silent prayer for Father. Meg thinks of him as often as Mother and prays little proper prayers for him when she wakes. We often pray together before sleep, though Meg is far better at it than I am. I keep him in my own way, mostly through my stories. Won't he be surprised to see how I've improved? Especially the one about the china doll that comes alive at night and gets taken away by the fairies who think her a little girl. It only needs a title still. Oh well, it'll come. And then another day. Oh, that wicked girl! How could she? I refuse to write it here. I can't. That would make it true. It can't be true. There was nothing I could do to her that wouldn't be close to what she's done to me. Nothing. Why? I only didn't take her along when she wasn't invited. Lori didn't invite her. It wasn't even me. Oh, how could she? How could God let this happen? They were for Father. My story's for Father. Now what'll happen to him? All my prayers to keep him safe. I mean, there were stories, but I wrote them for him. How dare she even touch them? How dare she? I didn't believe it, even of Amy, until I saw the ashes. Oh, ashes. So that was my way in. What happened in the story was that her little sister Amy was angry that she wasn't invited to go ice skating, and she burned her manuscript. It was the only copy. So imbuing it with that kind of meaning, you know, not just that it was important stories, but giving it the meaning of connecting it to her father really helped me to know, for me, what it could have meant for her in that. So, clapping! Oh, someone's clapping.